You ever get that feeling, like some kind of a pull? You're drawn to someone, and it's totally unexpected. Feelings can just sneak up on you like that. And sometimes it happens to involve someone who's already, well, spoken for. Married. So today we're diving into some tricky territory. Attraction to someone who's already married.
It's definitely a situation that can stir up a whole lot of feelings. And as our source points out, it's important to really understand what's going on, no matter what you decide to do about those feelings.
Exactly. And speaking of sources, we've got this article here called How to Seduce a Married Woman. Now, right off the bat, let's be super clear. We're not here to judge anyone or tell you what's right or wrong. It's more like we're taking this document apart, examining the strategies it suggests, and trying to get into the head of whoever wrote this. Basically, we're looking at one specific viewpoint on a very complex situation. It's just us taking a good hard look at what this article is saying.
Right. We're not saying we agree with it or disagree with it. We just want to see what it's all about. So the first thing this article really stresses is patience. Patience, patience, patience.
Okay, so let's break down this patience thing. The article says it's super important if you're attracted to a married woman and thinking of pursuing something. Why is it so insistent on taking things slow?
Well, according to the article, there are a few reasons. First off, it recognizes that someone who's married and considering a connection outside their marriage is probably dealing with a lot of stuff. Complicated personal stuff, like unresolved issues, emotional baggage, or even just like the weight of their life with their spouse and everything they've been through together. It's not something you can just undo overnight.
Yeah, I get that. It's not just about the feelings between two people, right? It's like there's a whole world around them. And the article also says there's a benefit for the person who's attracted to the married woman if they take things slow.
Yeah, exactly. By being patient, you get the chance to really figure out if she's actually interested. Is it a real spark, a mutual thing? Or is she just being polite? Or maybe just having a fleeting moment of connection. Maybe she doesn't want to change her life at all. Taking it slow lets you read the signs better, so you don't misinterpret things or make a move too soon.
And let's not forget about kids. This article doesn't shy away from that. It's not just about two adults. There are often other people involved, and they matter a lot.
Oh, absolutely. The article makes a really big point about the impact on children and how huge a change it would be for the whole family if a married woman left her marriage. It's a massive decision, and being patient shows respect for everyone involved, for her and especially for her family.
Okay, so the first piece of advice is basically slow and steady wins the race. Then the article shifts gears and talks about connecting in person and giving what it calls thoughtful compliments. Sounds like it's getting more direct now.
It does, yeah. It basically says, forget about just texting or calling. Those are fine for initial contact, sure. But if you want to build a real connection, you got to do it face to face. And what's interesting is it kind of hints at the idea that real connection, that spark, can only happen when you're actually in the same room picking up on each other's vibes.
You're right. When you're just texting, you miss out on so much, like facial expressions and that kind of energy you get when you're with someone. And then there's this whole thing about compliments. It says, tell her she's beautiful, that you like her style, her intelligence, all that stuff. But there's a catch.
Authenticity is key, according to this article. It says, don't just flatter her. People can usually tell when you're not being genuine. It even suggests using, get this, love quotes from movies if you don't know what to say. It says, those never fail.
That's kind of funny, like using lines from a movie, but I guess the message is to be sincere. Okay, so you've connected in person, given genuine compliments. What's next? The article talks about humor and listening.
Right. The article assumes, and this is just an assumption, that if a married woman is open to attention from someone else, it might mean she's not totally happy in her marriage. So it suggests using humor to lighten things up, make her feel good. But it emphasizes that the humor has to be natural, not forced.
So it's more about being playful and making her laugh, not telling jokes like a stand-up comedian. And then there's this idea of being a patient listener, which seems really important in this kind of situation.
Definitely. The article says to focus on her, especially at first. Listen to her, what she needs, what she wants, what she's going through. Don't just talk about yourself all the time. Really listen to her. It's like when you truly listen, you create a connection.
It's about making her feel heard and understood, right? Okay, so we're taking things slow, connecting on a personal level, giving sincere compliments, using humor, and really listening to her. Where do we go from there?
Well, the article then talks about building trust and being supportive. It's like now the connection's starting to get deeper.
The heading for this section is literally, earn her trust. How does the article say to do that?
It says create a space where she feels safe to open up, to share her secrets, knowing you won't judge her. Be someone she can trust. It also says to be supportive of her dreams, show her you believe in her and want to help her reach her goals. Be someone who's there for her, who wants the best for her.
Not just a shoulder to cry on, but someone who actually helps her grow and be happy. And what about disagreements? The article touches on that too.
Yeah, it says to let her talk about things even when you disagree, to be respectful, even if you have different opinions. It's about showing her that you value her thoughts and that you see her as an equal. Even when things get tough, be the person she can turn to. That builds trust.
Okay, so trust is building. We're patient, we're making her laugh, we're supportive, and we respect her opinions. Now the article gets into the practical stuff, like how to behave in public and understanding body language. Seems like we're entering a minefield here.
It's definitely delicate, according to the article. It says no public displays of affection. You have to be discreet, avoid anything that could cause problems for her or her family. Remember, she's married. It suggests being friendly, but not too intimate when you're out in public. Just acknowledge the connection subtly, nothing that'll raise eyebrows.
It's almost like you have to act differently depending on where you are.
Yeah.
And body language is important too, right? It's all about respecting her situation.
Totally.
Yeah.
The article talks about being aware of your body language and how you're coming across. It also says to let her decide where you meet. Like, ask her if she's comfortable being in a certain place or if she'd prefer somewhere more private. It shows you care about how she feels and that her comfort is important to you.
Makes sense. Paying attention to her concerns, making sure she feels safe. Okay, so we're nearing the end of this guide. And the last piece of advice is all about persistence and never giving up.
Yeah, it basically repeats everything we've talked about. Patience, being attentive to her needs, supporting her, and being totally dedicated. It says if you do all that, eventually you'll get what you want, meaning she'll develop feelings for you and maybe even leave her marriage. So, don't give up, keep pursuing her. That's the message.
So to recap all this advice from the article, be patient, connect with her in person, compliment her sincerely, make her laugh, be an amazing listener, build trust by being supportive and reliable, be super careful in public, and never ever give up.
That pretty much sums up the strategies and how to seduce a married woman. But remember, we're just looking at this article, not endorsing it. We haven't talked about whether any of this is right or wrong, ethically speaking.
Exactly. We just wanted to understand what this article is saying, nothing more. And now, a thought for you, our listener. This article talks about a pretty complicated path with a lot of potential consequences. So think about this. What does it really mean to look for intimacy and connection outside of a committed relationship? It's a question about desire, about what society expects, and about the different ways people connect with each other. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.